I'm just backstage in my little cleaning cupboard here in Bournemouth ahead of a show. But something's been troubling me, and it relates to the girlfriend or wife, partner of Declan Rice, the footballer, the lady Layren Fryer. And recently, I understand Lauren has deleted all of her Instagram, all of her pictures and everything because of the unkindness of people and things people have been saying. And a few things, obviously it's none of my business. And obviously I don't know Lauren at all, but it's been troubling me over the last 24 hours or so. So I felt like I should probably say something in a way that's designed to be helpful. Now, clearly, Lauren is super lovely, super young, super attractive, super wonderful, and nothing like me. But that doesn't really matter, because it doesn't matter whether someone tells you you're lovely or you're pretty or you're young or you're great, because the things people say online can be really hurtful. And I thought that, given I've been called all the names under the sun, sometimes quite fairly as well, but yes, I thought it might be helpful just to say a couple of things. Firstly, I know that it doesn't help at all when people say just ignore it, or oh, don't listen to them, or but you're pretty, don't hear what they have to say, they're talking crap, just ignore them, they're pathetic. It doesn't actually help at all. People used to say to me a lot, oh, well, you've got a thick skin. And I used to go, yeah, and I've got hide of a rhino. But that wasn't true at all either. You always feel it if you end up reading it, or if someone takes the time to show it to you, which is what people also do. Oh, look at this terrible thing that was written about you. And that doesn't help either. So it is always hurtful. One of the things I think is helpful is that you need to be able to get through it quickly, process it quickly, and try and put it behind you, because that's where it needs to sit. So the more that you can see yourself being hurt by things someone said, but if you can literally see yourself dealing with it and then throwing it behind you, that's a fantastic thing. The thing I think is really important about this, it doesn't matter that people say, oh, but you're so pretty, or just ignore them. A lot of the unkindness that people come out with, it is actually based on jealousy. So in your case, Lauren, I'm sure people are jealous that you have a partner who is a well-known, excellent footballer. People are jealous of your success. People are jealous of your happiness. People are jealous that you've been together for so long, probably, or that you appear to be happy. There's a lot of very strange emotions that brings out in people. And for many people, the way that they feel they might be made happier is by trying to put you down. It's a really odd thing, quite a British thing, but it is a real thing. When people see your happiness and they're an unhappy person, they try and get rid of some of their unhappiness by being mean. That is literally what they're doing. They're not looking at you and thinking, she's ugly, I'll say something mean. They think by being mean to you, they'll feel a bit happier. The other thing is, these unhappy people writing this stuff, they did it like this. You look fat in that, or in my case, melted wheelie bin face, or horse face, or big nose, or whatever. Why does your face look like it's melting? Blah, 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 blah. They do it like this. And they moved on, feeling a bit better because they said something unkind. For you, possibly, you're carrying that and repeating it and thinking about it at 3 a.m. and thinking about it when it makes you cry later in the week, or when you feel self-conscious, or you don't want to go out the front door because you don't want to have a photo taken, or you think you look fat, or they've pointed something out that you're a bit sensitive to, so you kind of see what they're saying. You have to remember they wrote it in an instant. And in a way, one of the tools you have to have is to try and deal with it that quickly as well. They wrote it at this speed. Your job is to try and remember they're unhappy. They're trying to offload their unhappiness on you. It was written quickly. Get it behind you with that same speed. You carry this thing for so long. They wrote it very quickly. Another really important thing to remember, and this is something I needed in the last 10 years or so, is when the world thinks, in my case, not yours, that you're a cow, a complete bitch, or the most hated woman in England, Britain, or whatever, you're being mocked by everybody, and the photo they use is vile and all that. Not you, this is me. The only thing you have then is you. Right? The only thing you can do is go back to who you actually are. And none of this really applies to you in the same way, because nobody's calling you those names and no one's saying you're hated. But when you go home and you're with your partner, do remember that you guys are happy and you have a lovely thing. And people say it doesn't matter what they say, but in your heart, the only thing that matters is that you know who you are, you know who you both are, and you've got your little unit. And I'm sure there's lots of people in that little unit who think you're terrific, and that's your truth. So whatever anyone else says, go right back to that thing you know you are, and keep going back there until you feel a bit braver. There's something else that is kind of a subtlety, but it's important, which is that when people say these things, they are trying to pull you down. And it's easy to get pulled down by them. But you don't owe those people your energy. You don't owe them. So if I give the example of my squash bottle, this is your energy in here. When they try and take some of it, you don't have to give it to them. Like, the more you can say, no, I've been through this before. I know that I'm not the things you're saying. I know that you're an unhappy person and you're trying to make me unhappy. I know you probably said this in 2 seconds, but I have to carry it for the next 9 months of my life. I'm going to hold on to my energy and see if I can look after myself. Hold on to it tightly to you. And I think importantly as well is that you still have those lovely things in your life. And there was some comments, I think, and not wishing to repeat unkindness, but people may be saying your partner, or if we talk about lovely Mark, my partner, he could do better. He could do better. Just from one old bag to people out there who've been made to feel bad in this way. The idea that some plastic, Botox, fabricated thing with medically enhanced this or surgically altered this or lifted that or boosted this, the idea that that person is in any way the person most people want to go home with is an absolute myth. It's an illusion. It's part of the theatre of social media, this idea of perfection. I believe real lads would much rather go home with someone who's, well, in my case, a bit funny and quite confident, than they would with someone who's super beautiful or in that kind of Botoxed way. That might be great to show off for 5 minutes, but behind that, peacock. Once you pull the feathers off, you've just got a scrawny old bird. And this doesn't really apply to you, Lauren, because you're already gorgeous, but you're not going to listen to that. But my point is that this plastic fantastic is not really that fantastic at all. And actually far better to be like you and have something genuine and authentic, because you can't buy genuine or authentic. And the last thing I wanted to say is actually, I think you deleting your stuff is a very cool thing. Some people might be telling you, you put it up there, you post what you want, you do what you want. And I agree with that. You should absolutely put what you want. But actually, social media is a trick. It's also a trap. It traps you into thinking you have to participate, you have to post stuff, you have to show, you have to demonstrate, you have to show off your this, you have to, oh, here's a nice picture, let's post that. Actually, you don't have to do any of that. You don't owe anybody a look into your private life. You don't owe anyone a glimpse of anything of yours. And actually, why not leave it deleted? Why not decide that Instagram and all that kind of pretending to be perfect is just for morons? Why not, next time you have a lovely picture that you like, why not get it printed, put it in a special book that you keep at home just for the people who are special to you, or just for yourself? A little book of happiness just for yourself. You don't need anyone else's judgment on you. You don't need anyone else's comments. You don't need anyone else's compliments, because you have a happy life, a happy partner, a happy child, I don't know, happy things. So keep that for yourself. You don't owe anyone anything. You don't owe anyone any of your energy. You don't owe unkind people the time that they're taking from your heart. Put it behind you. And you're very different from me because obviously you're not hated, you're not an old bag, and you're not all those things. But I just wanted to say all of that in case it's helpful in some little way. But I think for me, the biggest thing of all has always been, no matter what was being said about me, I know who I am, and I'm none of those things. So that should be the thing you pull back to as well. Okay, maybe helpful, maybe not, but I feel better now that I've just shared some of the things that I've been using over a couple decades to get through much of the hostility that I used to get. So, wishing you, Lauren, and your lovely partner Declan all the very, very best. Be happy and enjoy your special book of happiness if you do decide to do that.